Welcome to Injury Risk Profiles for your NRL squad. Today I'm going to show you how you can use an injury risk profile on Smartabase to help you reduce your data silos and help you save time on your data collection and visualization. We've found recently that we've had a lot of clients and prospects requesting on how we can help you reduce your current data silos as well as bring your data into one place into an injury risk profile. Here is an example we've built out for your NRL squad. You can see up the top here we've got a couple of filters. We can use these filters to drive our dashboard. This dashboard is built as an example, so please keep in mind that you can replace the variables that you see here up the top with the variables that you believe are important for your injury risk profile. Between clients this can vary, however, today we've got a couple of common examples to show you. On the left-hand side here, you will note that we've got our players. This can be your entire playlist, or you may choose to use a filter to filter down this list to narrow your focus. In our first column, we've decided to pull in some medical availability. For a lot of our clients, this medical availability is centered around a soap notes table. This table is often entered by the NRL physio when they are treating a player or updated on a daily basis. Now we know this isn't always practical, so you can use a different type of training status that may be driven in a different part of your Smartabase site. The idea is that once you update this status, we use some creative smart flows or our aggregation table here to drive status and summarize it in the table. Next, we've also got a couple of GPS metrics. You can see here we've got two GPS variables that you can pull from your Catapult integration into this dashboard. We've used some conditional formatting to flag when the player is in a risky range. This is customizable and you can choose what you would like your flag to be using our conditional formatting settings in our dashboard builder. Next, we've got a player load ACWR, and here if you are collecting subjective RPEs, you can calculate acute chronic workload ratio metrics, and again, you can set your own custom parameters around what you believe a flag would be. You can see here we've clearly used some green and red flagging ranges. Next, we've got some MSK screening type metrics. You may use an integration such as the VALD integration from VALD Hub to pull in some of the screening data that you use. Again, we can use some of our different features to tie these data sets together, such as our smart flows or our smart saves, to have this all in one place. In this example here, we've used a Z-score. However, you may use a different metric from your adductor squeeze test or your force frame test if you're using a VALD integration. Next, we've got a simple sit and reach test. This is an example of a manual test that you may enter via kiosk, for example, or you may bulk enter it in a group entry. We understand that these tests are not always driven daily, so you can again use our aggregation widget or a summary form to pull this data together. Next up, we've also got some subjective wellness type questions. So here we've got a muscle soreness question, however you may have other questions that you wish to pull into your injury risk profile. This question here, or this type here, focuses on a calculation or a text calculation that we've used to show trends. Depending on how you would like to display this information, this is a really good way that you can translate some of the numerical information into text. So depending on your audience, you can decide if this would be more appropriate. Finally, we also wanted to show you that you can also include things like sleep hours in your injury risk profile. This may be collected in many ways, and a lot of our NRL clubs are using a simple wellness questionnaire to ascertain their sleep hours. However, we know this isn't always super easy for athletes to ID their sleep duration, so you may even, instead of asking how many hours of sleep you got, you may actually change this to what time did you go to bed versus what time did you wake up. You may even want to try using one of our wearable integrations such as Oura Ring, Garmin, or Apple Watch with our Apple Health integration. Finally, we pull all this data into our risk flags tally. The idea being you can use a filter up the top here or a sorter to sort your flagged athletes. So now we can see the order of athletes that we may want to go have a look at prior to when the athlete gets to training. So I can see here when Naomi walks into the building, I may be following up with Naomi as she has the most flags, and I may seek further intervention or treatment based on what types of flags are here. I hope you found this really helpful, and I hope it's maybe inspired you to perhaps change what you're currently doing, or maybe even make some modifications if you already have an injury risk profile in your AMS.